What's up, everyone? My name is Colby, aka Serial Killer 02 on Twitch, Instagram, and here on YouTube. And the day is finally here. WarCry is now out, and I can't tell you how excited I am about this game. I have been waiting for this game ever since it was announced. Me and my wife have been looking for a tabletop skirmish game that doesn't have a huge footprint, that doesn't take up a lot of space. And this is the game. We were about to go and buy Infinity when we found out about this game, and we found out about the two-player set that was going to be coming out. And we both did a lot of research and watched a lot of videos and decided that this is the game for us. And wow, I just have to say, everything that comes in this box is amazing. So the box itself is $170. It comes with 2 factions, a lot of terrain, all the cards that you need, and the huge core book for WarCry. So there is a lot to this box, and it is definitely worth the money. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the box.
We'll start off first by looking at the outside of the box. This is 8.8 pounds, so there is a lot in this game. The box itself, from top to bottom, it is almost 12 inches tall. It just comes in right under 12 inches. The length of it is 17 inches long, and the depth is 5 inches deep. So it is a big, heavy box. As you can tell, as always, the artwork from Warhammer is just spectacular. It really shows what the game is all about. And then once you flip it over, you will see everything that comes in the box. And as you can tell, it is a crap load of stuff. You've got a lot of nice terrain and a lot of models. And the models and terrain obviously do not come painted. You paint them yourself if you want to. And right up here, I'll kind of read what this says. I know it's kind of hard to read. So, from across the mortal realms, desperate warbands make the dark pilgrimage to the chaos-twisted wastes of the 8 points, seeking to earn the favor of Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, and a place within his unholy legions. In order to do so, they must slaughter their rivals, take a claim for territory, and spread their influence across the land. Blades will clash, spears will fly, and the ground will be soaked with the blood of the slain. Only the mightiest warriors will triumph. So it's really cool how they explain this game. Really gives you kind of a backstory, and I think that's pretty awesome. Right down here it says, WarCry is a tabletop skirmish war game in which 2 or more players control rival warbands of Citadel miniatures. Each with their own unique weapons, warriors, and abilities, this box contains everything you need to start playing WarCry, including the core book, 2 warbands, chaotic beasts, terrain, and a variety of cards, tokens, and tools to help you get the most out of your battles. And that's just awesome. For the price for this box, it is definitely worth picking up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what is inside. Now that we have looked at the outside of the box, let's go ahead and take the top off. And the first thing you're going to notice when I get the top off this box is a crap load of sprues for models. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of these sprues so you can see how awesome the models look. Now there's a lot of models to this game, so I am going to go ahead and try to go through as many of them as I can. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. We will start off with some of the iron golems, and as you can tell, the detail on these models is just awesome. And the thing I really love about Warhammer and the way they do their models is it doesn't take a lot to put them together. One thing I will do is I am going to do a how-to video on how to put each warband together and the terrain. So if you do end up getting this box, I will try to have that done in the next couple of days. That way you can be able to watch a video on how to put everything together, because sometimes looking at pictures isn't always the best. But there is a sprue of the iron golems, and then the next one we have is going to be some of the chaotic beasts. And as you can see, I mean, like I said, just the detail on each of these models. You've got the scars, and you've just got everything to these models that just makes them really, really cool. Right here, you can actually see one of the untamed beasts. There's his back and his weapon. And so there's the chest of another one. And so, I mean, just the way that they put these together is awesome. Here's some more of the iron golems, as you can tell. And one great thing about the way that Warhammer does their stuff, and I'll explain this more in the next video, but they number everything off, and so you know exactly what piece goes with what other pieces. And I will get more into that in the how to put together video. Next one we have got the wings and legs for some of the chaotic beasts, as well as some of the tails. And so this just kind of shows you how big some of these are going to be. Like, these wings are gigantic. If you take one of the iron golems, you can actually see how big the wings are on these guys. And so, again, I just love the detail that Warhammer puts into their games. Up next, we have got more wings. And so there's going to be a lot of wings in this game. So get ready for that. After that, we come to, surprise, surprise, more wings and a couple of faces for the chaotic beasts. As you can tell, the faces are really cool and different. This is going to be a lot of fun to paint. I'm actually trying to get all of the paints that I'm going to need to do this. So here are more pieces to the chaotic beasts. And then we come to some more of the untamed beasts. And as you can see, again, these models are just incredible. The detail is amazing, and you'll be able to see them all put together in that next video, like I was saying earlier. And now that we've looked at all the figures, here comes the fun part. All of the different terrain. And my wife, when we got the game earlier, she was expecting the game to come with cardboard terrain. And so whenever I opened this up, she was in shock to see the terrain that we actually got was all plastic. She was kind of skeptical on getting the game because of how much it was, and thinking that we were only going to get cardboard terrain. But as soon as I opened it up and she saw this, she agreed that it was definitely worth the price. So here's, I mean, the detail in the terrain and the bricks and just everything for this game is incredible. I cannot wait to put this terrain together. I've actually never worked with terrain before, and so it's going to be fun to paint this and try new things. So there's some of the terrain, and then over here we have got more, which is, this is all the wood pieces and all of the spikes that will be laid out across the battlefield. And so those are going to be fun and kind of hard to paint, so it's going to be really cool to try that out. And then here you have got more of the gates, and this is going to be the top part to one of the pieces that some of the models will be able to stand on. Right here you've got a little fountain, and so there's just tons of different pieces of terrain that go into this game. And here's another piece just like that last one. And then the final piece that I have of terrain is actually going to be a big stone head. As you can tell, you got these two pieces and this piece here that are going to make up a head to a big model. And so there is a lot of terrain within this game as well. Now that we've looked at the terrain, let's go ahead and go back and look at what else is in the box. And then right under the sprues, you will see this just piece of paper that shows WarCry, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. You flip it over, and you have got the artwork that is on the front of the box. And so this is really cool. I really love that they put a piece of art in here. I will probably end up putting this in my office once I find a spot for it. But again, I just love this artwork, and I think it's really cool that they added that in there. So once you remove this, you will find the maps, and you will also find the tokens. And since we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the tokens. So starting right up here, you will have what is called the weight token. And then you flip it over, and this shows the activation token. So they've used both sides of the tokens to take care of different things, which is really nice because then you don't have just a lot of extra tokens laying around. Flip it back over. These are going to be your treasure tokens. And if you flip them to the other side, these are the objective tokens. So those are going to be different depending on which scenario or type of game you are playing. Now looking down here, we have got the damage tokens. And as you can tell, these have a 1 on them. These have a 5. When you flip it over, the ones that had the 1 damage on the other side now has 3. And then the one that had 10 now has 5. And so that's really cool how they did that. Then right here, you have got what is called the special tokens. And those will do different things depending on the scenario or different type of game that you are playing. And then the last token is going to be the initiative token. And so that's all the tokens you need for the game. So that makes it really nice. Under the tokens, you will find the game board. So let's take a second. I'm going to reset up the camera so I can show you the entire board. And here's one side of the playmat. I apologize for all of the moving around of the camera. I'm actually having to hold it to get all of the playmat in here. But it is on mat board, so that is really nice that they did that. And it is two-sided. So I will flip it over and show you the other side as well. And this is the other side of the playmat. The great thing about this playmat is it's 30 inches by 22 inches, so it doesn't take up a lot of space at all. So that is really nice that they made this a smaller game for people that don't have a huge area to play skirmish games. So now that we have taken a look at the maps, let's go ahead and go back and see what else is in the box. Now that we've looked at the full game board, under that, you will find the core book. And this book is huge. It has got a ton of information in it. It's got everything you need. It tells you all the different war bands, shows you their figures, and as you go through, you're going to find a lot of different information, how the terrain works, setting up a battle. You've got the core rules. And the way the rule book is set up, it really explains everything very well and makes it easy for people who have never played a game like this to understand what to do and how everything works. And so as you go through, you'll find all of the different symbols. You've got lesser artifacts, battle plans, cursed metals, one of them. And it just goes through and it has everything that you're going to need to play the game. And so that's really nice. After that, you've got just this little pamphlet talking about the new WarCry anthology book that's going to be coming out. And when you scan this in, you'll be able to read a chapter from the book before it comes out. Flip it over, you've got a smaller picture from that artwork that they give you in the box. After that, you're going to find a what's in the box setup. So it shows that you have the ruler, all of the models, just all that kind of stuff, and then a quick start guide. And so on the back, you've got a rules summary. After that, the next booklet is going to be the assembly instructions. And this is definitely one you are going to need. There are a lot of models in this game, and it's going to take some time putting them together. So having this is really nice. And then on the back, you have got a list of all the different paints that are used for each model. And so that's really nice that they do that and add that to it. And then under the assembly instructions, you will find all of the different cards that you need for the game. And let's go ahead and take a look at the different card decks. So the first deck is going to be the terrain cards, and every terrain card, it has a unique layout of terrain. And so, as you can tell, there's just tons of different ways to set up the terrain. And so every time you play the game, it's going to be completely different. Sometimes you'll have a lot of terrain out, and then other times you won't, like right there. So it all just kind of depends on how you're playing the game and what type of game you are playing. And the next set of cards we will look at are going to be the deployment cards. And I really like that they put each of them into their own little tuck boxes here. Now, one thing about this is that these tuck boxes will not fit sleeves. So be cautious of that now. If you're wanting to sleeve your cards, they will not go back in the tuck boxes. So as you can tell, this kind of shows where everybody starts off. And on every deployment card, there are 2 sets of 3 symbols. So you've got the dagger, and I know it's kind of hard to see here, and I apologize for that. But you've got the dagger, you've got the shields, and you also have the hammers. And so one set is in the red and the other is obviously in the blue, and they are referred to the deployment points. And so each one corresponds to one of the battle groups in each player's warband. And so that kind of tells you where you're going to start off and how to set up each of your figures on the battlefield. The next one we will take a look at is going to be the victory deck. And so we'll slide these out of the box. And the victory card, this card, you draw it, and it determines how the winner of the battle is going to be chosen. And so how long the battle will last. So if the victory card instructs the players to determine who is the attacker and who is the defender, then you would place an objective marker or treasure tokens, or to do anything else before the battle begins. It's done during this step, and so it kind of explains what each game is going to be. Like on this one, it says victory, cut off the head, slay their champion and leave the leaderless curs to cower. A player wins the battle as soon as their opponent's leader is taken down. At the end of the 4th battle round and each subsequent battle round, any leaders within 4 inches of the battlefield edge immediately count as being taken down. If playing a campaign battle, do not make an injury roll for your fighters taken down in this manner. So it's really cool the way it's set up. That's almost, I hate to say it, but that's almost like a Fortnite kind of way to win right there, because it ends up making it to where you have to do a close combat battle at some point. And then from there, we have got a deck of twist cards. And with these, this card, you draw it from the deck, and it has a special rule that applies to the battle. So looking at the cards like Double or Nothing, fate rests upon the blade's edge, threatening to escalate this clash of rivals into something far deadlier. Roll a dice. On a 1 to 3, no twist cards are used this battle. On a 4 to 6, draw 2 more twist cards, redrawing cards with the fate rune mark, and redrawing the second card if it has the same rune mark as the first. Both twist cards are in effect this battle. So these twist cards can be very detrimental and can cause a lot of issues for the players. Now that we've taken a look at all the decks in the game, let's go ahead and look at the character cards. And I'll go over this stuff pretty quickly. I'm not going to try to go into too much detail. But starting right up here, well, first you've got the picture of the character, or the fighter, excuse me. And then from there, you have got the faction rune mark, so what faction they are in. Then right here in the top left in this circle, that is going to be the move characteristic. And then going clockwise right here, you have got the toughness characteristic. And then right below that, you have got how much damage they can take before they are killed. After that, right up here is the points value, so that's how much it costs to pick that character. And in this one, this character, it's 180. And I believe in this game you have 1,000 points for drafting your characters. After that, you will find the fighter's weapon, and sometimes fighters will have 2 weapons, and one can be close combat and one will be long ranged. All of these right here also say different things. This is going to be the range characteristic, so how far away a character can be within inches for you to be able to attack them. Then right after that, we have got the attacks characteristic. And then after that, right here where it has the 4 and it's the fist, that is the strength characteristic. So you roll a 4 or higher, then it will be a hit. And then right after that, where it says 11, that's the damage characteristics. So it will be a 2, or if I remember correctly, if you get a 6, then it will do 5 damage. And so there is all of those. Then right here you have got the rune marks, and then besides that, that is going to be it. So that kind of tells you everything that each of these cards has, and it gives you a picture of each model. So that's really cool the way they have that set up. And then the last set of cards within the game are going to be the ability cards. So on these cards, there's a lot of different information, and I know it's hard to read, and I apologize for that. Right up here, it shows the faction rune marks. So you got the Iron Golems, the Untamed Beasts, and then the abilities for the monsters. So with the Iron Golems, let's go ahead and take a look at that. You've got the faction rune mark. You have the name of the faction, and then you've got the rune marks required to do the abilities. And this is a really cool thing set up within the game. And again, I'm not going to try to go over all of the rules, but just kind of give you an overview. And then these are the abilities that you can get for certain things that you end up doing throughout the game. So it's kind of specials that you can save up and do some crazy battle stuff with. You flip it over, and you're going to see all of the different fighter types. So you got a Dominar, the Ogre Breacher, Signifer, Drill Master, and it tells you all of the names and shows you their models. So I will go ahead and show you each of these. We just looked at the Iron Golem. Then you've got the Chaotic Beasts. Both of them right there. And then you have got the Untamed Beasts, and it gives all of their names. So that is all of the cards that are within the game. And once we take this bottom piece out, you will find all of the little extra stuff that you're going to need. Right here you have got all of the dice that you're going to need, and as you can tell, they've got the WarCry symbol on them for the critical hits or the 6 side of the die. You also get baggies for all of the different tokens and different pieces that are going to be just freely rolling around in the box. You also get all of the bases for the models, and then it comes with a ruler. And this ruler really isn't bad. It's not cardboard. It's kind of a light plastic, so that's really nice that they added that in there. So yeah, that is it. That's what comes in the Age of Sigmar WarCry 2-player starter box. So let's go ahead and take it back up top, and I will give you my final thoughts on the 2-player box.
And that's it. As you can tell, there is a lot in that box. So for $170, it's a heck of a deal. I would like to take a second to thank my local store, Edmund Unplugged, for just getting the game in. And Edmund Unplugged is huge in the community. They do a lot. They actually have a Facebook group, and I will put a link to it in the description below. That way, if you're in Oklahoma and you have not come to look at Edmund Unplugged yet, feel free to go look and check out what's going on there. They have stuff going on every night. They also carry all of the Scale 75 paints. They are the only store in Oklahoma to have them. So that is really cool as well. So if you've been looking for those and you're in Oklahoma, this is the place to get them. So yeah, feel free to check them out. And one thing else I wanted to show you guys, the core book, this is what comes in the game itself. And this book is $40 by itself. And as you can tell, it is thick. It has 160 pages in it. And all of the information, there is tons of information on every page. And so just that alone takes up almost $50 worth of the game that you're paying $170 for. The terrain itself is $90 for the sets that you can get. So, I mean, right there, that's pretty much the game. And then that doesn't even include all the cards, the ruler, the tokens, and all of the models for the war bands. So there you go. The price is definitely worth it. And my plans going forward for this is I'm going to do a video, like I talked about whenever I was showing the models off. I will do a video that shows how to put all of the different war bands and terrain together. And so if you like this video, please hit the like button, hit the little bell and the subscribe button, and don't miss any of the other games that I am going to be posting. In the next couple of days, I will also have the Power Rangers game unboxing up, and I also have a few more planned. So there's a lot more coming to the channel, so please keep checking back, and like I said, hit that like, that subscribe button, and notifications. That way you know whenever I am putting up new videos. Also, what was your favorite thing about this that's in this box? Leave it in the comments section below. Let's talk about this game. Tell me what you guys think about it and what you would like to see, what war bands you would like to see them add to this game. But that's it for now. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye-bye.